The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
I remember a few years back, it could even be 10 years ago, when it might even been 15, when, remember, Botox came first upon the scene as a cosmetic way of dealing with aging. I just can remember all the hype about injecting this kind of, well, toxic poison in order to make you look younger, and all the pros and cons about that that cosmetic process, injecting this toxin into your face or wherever in order to firm up your face or other parts of your body so you could defy aging. I remember a friend of mine who is an artist and dabbles in modeling and everything, and she was, naturally concerned about her art, about her appearance, and so when all that started up, she was like, I'm going to investigate it because I'd like to kind of carry out my career as far as I can go with this. And and I could get it, I could understand it. And as she investigated and as she continued to look at it, one afternoon she told me over coffee, she goes, I'm just not going to do it. And she wasn't judging other people who do. But she said something that just kind of struck me, and I think it goes to the heart of today's gospel. She said, it's just not me. I'm portraying something that it's just not me. I think it's important for us to embrace, if you will, the reality of who we are and the trueness of ourselves. And I think she's onto something there. Because to be honest with you, I thought to myself, well, if it works for her, maybe it'll work for me. Who knows? But are we being true to ourselves if we're trying to mask, trying to hide who we really are? And that's the heart of today's gospel. Often we interpret this gospel today about losing yourself of self-denial and all that. And all that's an important part of our Christian life, isn't it? To be able to give up things and to die to oneself. But Jesus is really wanting us to do something that might be even harder. And that's to let go of the false self. The ways we have built up ourselves in such a way that we're unable to love, or the way we built ourselves up so that we feel we're free to judge others in ways that is not helpful to their own growth. Or those ways that we've protected ourselves with this kind of shell around us so that we might never get hurt. We're so cautious that we can't even love. This is what Jesus is inviting us to in today's gospel. When he says, die to yourself, he's saying, let go of the false self that gets in the way of you loving, that gets in the way of the heart experiencing, yes, indeed, those times of sorrows, but also those times of great love. And there are times in our lives where we realize that if we hadn't bothered to love, even though we're in the midst of sorrow and a broken heart, we know that love was all worth it. It might have been a spouse, a family member, a friend. That somehow we still attain that love even though our hearts are broken because of a loss. To get to our truest self is really one of the most important moments of the spiritual life, and we often forget that, and I think that's what Jesus is inviting us to today. Because when we come to our truest self, we come to know ourselves founded in God, dependent upon God. able to see ourselves as who we really are. And that's a child of God. And again, this is not easy. This requires a great deal of prayer, it requires a great deal of reflection. But there is freedom in letting go of things that we just don't need hanging on our lives. There's freedom in truly being who we really are and basking in that which God delights in. Because God delights and gives life to those who find themselves as they are in the living God.